Let's start off with the basics, Holly. Where are you right now?
Right now, I am in the north of Afghanistan in Mazar-Sharif. So it's one of the few major cities actually left standing in Afghanistan. So it's sort of right now it's fairly surrounded, but the situation is super calm, and the troops here sort of have a grip on at least the outskirts. So I'm not too worried.
I'm Holly, and we are here in Mazar-Sharif in the northern of Afghanistan. As you've probably seen on the news reports, a lot of the northern provinces have been falling to the Taliban in recent days and weeks. But the situation in Mazar, despite what's happening, as you can see, the markets are still full, people are going about their lives. Everyone is, of course, a little worried, but life goes on, and that's what we're seeing here. I've noticed a big shift over the past day. I think people are starting to get a lot more worried about the Taliban advances, especially all surrounding Mazar at the moment. Life still does go on, and these people are incredibly resilient. The Afghan people are really amazing. And then, of course, there are a lot of people that tell me that they just have nowhere to go.
How could this have happened in a week's time?
It was a failure in a lot of people's parts. I think maybe even the US too. I just think the information process or the information that was being collected about it has been incorrect. And I think perhaps a huge failure was just the level of the numbers, the sheer numbers that the Taliban has. And that, I think, we underestimated that.
I have crossed the border from Afghanistan into Uzbekistan, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen the video and some pictures of my photographer Jake and I as we met with the Taliban to escort us out of the country, which was a risk, but given the situation, sometimes you have to weigh up the options and pick which you think is the best. I'm Hollie McKay, and Jake and I are currently driving from the Uzbek border all the way down to Kabul, and we're probably about 3.5 hours into it. It's probably going to take about maybe 9 or 10 hours. We've gone through lots of Taliban checkpoints, and so far no issues. They stamped us in with their Islamic Emirates stamp and recognized our previous visas. And just stay tuned. We're very committed to this story. With our driver and 2 of his brothers waiting, we ventured across the wounded yet wonderful Afghanistan, some 300 miles alongside the Hindu Kush mountain range and ruptured Solang Pass. We skirted through entirely empty and bombed-out villages with white and black Taliban flags flapping high, and pivoted around shattered roads where entire chunks of the earth had been violently ripped out in heavy aerial bombardment. We passed mosques blown to bits and burqa-clad women and children languishing under the scorching sunshine, sitting silently in the dust, waiting for some form of an absolution that might never come. This is Hollie McKay in Kabul. We made a really long journey across Afghanistan and made it here late last night. So I just wanted to kind of show you a little bit about the city. It's coming back to life, although it really is a shadow of what it used to be in terms of noise and vibrancy and music. But people are getting on with it, and I'm seeing a lot of women not in the burqa, which is nice to see, hence what I'm wearing. But continue to follow, and we'll take you through the streets of Kabul and show you what life is like under the Taliban. Today marks 1 month since the Taliban came in and took Kabul, so stay tuned for a story on how life has changed. A lot of the people that we speak to are very concerned about the economy. People can't make their rent, people can't buy food, inflation is soaring, so it is a really dire time for a lot of Afghans. And right now we're on the way to counter narcotics. The Taliban have promised to eradicate the poppy fields, which has been a huge revenue source, so we'll see how that affects the country, and thank you for your support. We are in the Taliban capital of Kandahar. It is the birthplace of the Taliban and remains the political capital of the emirate. So we are currently focusing on girls' education. We are trying to find the supreme leader, and we are looking at life here in Kandahar. So stay tuned.
Ready? Come on in. There
Yes.
you were getting interviews, and here you are detained. So it's a different situation here.
I'm sure the Kandaharis will be nice to us.
Let's see.
The Canary is very nice to each other, so
But they are nice to other people as well.
your beard's less than mine.
They will not tell me anything.
I still have no idea why this kid has a thermal scope on his gun.
Even he doesn't have any idea. They just like hold it. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. So perfectly fine, no issues.
Yeah.
That's good to
Stay
have.
calm, stay calm, stay calm.
Yeah.
I'm here at my hotel room in Kandahar. It's where a lot of journalists stay, so it feels quite safe. A couple of days ago, Jake and I were detained for most of the day while we were working on the Spinboldak border with Pakistan. Apparently it had become a military zone and we were not informed. It's sort of an issue that you deal with a lot as a journalist in foreign countries where everybody thinks you're a spy. So they basically had to question us, accused us of having fake documents, and a lot of commanders came in, they made a lot of calls. Things got a little bit tense for a while, but I think Jake and I are pretty good at staying calm. We knew that all our documents were above board, and eventually they would find the right people to vouch for us. So that just took quite a bit of a process, and in the end they were quite apologetic, and we were able to continue with our story after that. The big picture is that there is a really big humanitarian crisis happening on the border. A lot of Afghans who typically cross back and forth are not able to get medical care. They've been waiting days, they're starving, and that really is the important message that we wanted to convey.